Welcome and welcome back everybody to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video, I figured I'd just go through 6 builds that I think everybody should at least give a try or have. Um, Now the reason I went for 6 is just had to have 2 damage builds, 2 tank builds, and then 2 skill builds. So I am leaving out a bunch of builds. This isn't the only builds there is in the game, naturally. There are a bunch of different ones. But these are some that I can recommend and that I like. I'll probably be speaking about some, what's the word? Different ways you can run them. Uh, like, yeah, just slight diversions. There's a word for it, but it's eluding me now. But anyway, before we get into it, please be sure to subscribe. We're heading for 1,000 subscribers. We just crossed 400 subscribers. Last time I checked, we were at 430. Yeah, 435. I'll place a cutout on the screen of where we are now. But if you want to be part of the journey and you want to do me a huge favor, subscribe. With that being said, let's get going. So naturally, first off, we'll start strong. We're in with a striker build. Now, striker is probably the biggest DPS build. You'll hear people run strikers a lot. It's a very nice build. I'd say the main reason is if you or the main reason striker is so enjoyed is it's incredibly high damage. But if you wanted to and you're new and you don't quite understand how the game works yet, you could just throw 6 blue cores on a striker build and be perfectly fine with damage as well. Now, this is how I've been running it lately. With 4-piece striker, chance and damage rolled. I'm not going to go into the finite details like the crit chance, crit damage, get chance as high as you can, and then focus crit damage after that. Uh, the one thing that I don't like about the way this build works is I can't really get my stacks up to max. Um, because with the chest piece specifically, it increases your stacks from 100 stacks to 200 stacks. Now, in a normal encounter in the open world, I'm usually running, I'm hitting about half. So I am hitting the 100 stack. I might be getting a bit over the 100 stack. But for the most part, that isn't working insanely well. Usually, what you'd see people do is run the striker's gloves and then run um a a chess piece with obliterate on it. So a Fenris chess piece could work. If you're losing out on some crit chance or crit damage, you could run a Grupo chess piece or a Seska. Okay, and if you're running an SMG, naturally you could go for a the Sokolov. But yeah, so that is one deviation people do. One that I want to try is actually not run the backpack or the chase piece. I want to roll most things blue and run a memento bag with that type of chase piece. So then running the mask, gloves, knees, and holster as strikers. That's the next thing I really want to try out. But yeah, strikers is pretty much nice. The weapon, you can run whatever you want. Stego was new. I was running it to get expertise up on it, and it's actually a very nice weapon, just in general. The other new rifle that we get, I don't have it on this character. It's on, where is it on this? No, it is on this character. The other one, the Lexington, is also a very nice weapon to run with the health damage. I have a nice roll with health damage and damage to targets of cover. But yeah, you can pretty much run anything with this build specifically, and it'll just work. Next up, if you're less into the whole building stacks build, I can wholeheartedly recommend a full yellow build. Now, this build is pretty much just based also crit chance, crit damage. I have Grupo and Seska for the extra crit chance and crit damage there, running with um, Vigilance and with Obliterate. And this weapon, it shoots slower, the Black Market AKM, but I'm think it is the highest damage weapon per hit. I'm speaking under correction. I actually want to run this build with the Lexington, the new Lexington rifle once, and test that out as well. I haven't played this build in a while. I've been on a tank arc recently, so I've been running my tank character most of the time. But yeah, just turret reviver hive. Uh, Very nice build. Hitting, I was ramping up to about 1.1 million damage a bullet, so it's got a lot less stacks to maintain than strikers. Strikers does out damage it by a bit, but this is more of a instant consistent damage, you could say. Uh, but yeah, that's all I have to say about this build specific. It's just crit chance, crit damage rolled everywhere, as you can see. Crit chance mods. There was a headshot damage rolled because I hit max crit chance and I had crit damage rolled already. So that's one thing that you can do. Same with this. And yeah, I'm going to hop over to my tank character next, and I'll get you guys when I have that up. Right, so next up what we have is going to be the tank sets, as I said, and this is Bulwark. Now, this is one of the deviations I run. I like to run status resistance, especially for full shields, or for a full shield. Explosions still do a decent amount of damage, but the nice thing about status resistance is if you're running the recent modifier with the shock and burn, they don't affect you as much. I don't think they should affect you at all, but currently you still do get shocked last time I checked. Or if you're running the directive with the bullet, the bullet that enemies have status bullets that don't affect you. Another nice thing is if you're running this in the summit with full hazard protection, your shield doesn't go down even with EMPs. So you just have a shield, it's always there. Uh, Pretty simple 3-piece bulwark with the ninja bike bag is giving me 4-piece, one yawl gear for the 10% hazard protection and 10% weapon damage, and then we have 1 piece of cavalier, which is activated by 2-piece, giving me 30% hazard protection with another hazard protection roll on it. Bulwark heals the shield over time. I have the Liberty. If you play the Liberty correctly and just stack body shots consistently and don't do headshots unless your shield gets a bit low, your shield's damn near invincible, along with the fact that the Liberty does do a decent amount of damage on body shots. And since I'm running the named Yalgir mask, now you don't need to if you don't have it, you can run normal mask. But the named version with the 14% health damage, you proc health damage like crazy when you chew through armor. So this is the one. It's more of a yeah. This is more of a I'll you know what I'll solo and stand on the front line. Tank the like big tank guys with the miniguns, they still do a decent chunk of damage, so I wouldn't recommend it. And if people get around your shield naturally on legendary, they are gonna destroy you. But it's a very nice build for heroic. I think that shield is invincible, and anything lower, you can't go wrong with this method of build. Next up, we are running a Heartbreaker build. Now, this Heartbreaker is specifically just set to run headshot damage everywhere. So it's full blue headshot damage. This backpack, I just haven't been able to get the correct rolls on it. But I am running 2 named pieces, the Lavoisier and then the Pointman. The thing with this build specifically is you're building an insane amount of bonus armor, but you're also giving bonus armor whenever you take out your shield. It's invulnerable for 5 seconds, and 50% of your armor is granted to your allies as bonus armor. Now, note this does not take into account your bonus armor. This takes into account your main armor value, which doesn't change even if you get bonus armor, because bonus armor and armor is set differently. Then the Lavoisier, applying blind, ensnare, shock, or confuse, grants 50% of your armor as bonus armor to all allies within 30 meters. So take out a shield, you give an ally 1 million armor, shoot them with the Scorpio with a 4-stack, and you give them an additional million armor. So at the end of the day, they're running around with a full red guy is running around with 2 million bonus armor. This cooldown is a bit weird because you have to juggle shield, but it's a 5-second cooldown because the bonus armor lasts for 20 seconds. This, on the other hand, doesn't really have a cooldown. It's more of how consistently you can get the shock to apply with the Scorpio. So if you're focusing one target and you wait for the bonus armor to run out on that 10 seconds and you switch targets, that works very nicely. Alternatively, I'm running the shield and the artifice drive. If you can manage to run a riot foam chem launcher, you can apply this probably a lot more consistently, because then proc with the Scorpio, and if you see armor runs out, cycle to the chem launcher and then just proc with the Scorpio the next time. But this is more of a tank support build. Another nice thing is with Heartbreaker specifically, with shotguns, the way that shotguns work and Heartbreaker works, Heartbreaker says whenever you shoot an enemy. However, how a shotgun works is it takes into account each pellet. So shotguns build that bonus armor and weapon damage up incredibly quickly. A way you could stack this otherwise is roll full shotguns with golden gear and then just roll this into a rock and roll shotgun or an ACS 12, and you build a bunch of armor. Damage is okay, um, but yeah, so it's a very nice build. Alternatively, run the, I believe it's, I don't know if I have one. Is it the backpack that increases stacks? No, this just increases armor. So you could get 2% armor instead of 1% armor. Uh, up to a stack of, I believe this is a stack of 50. So you can get up to 100% of your armor as bonus armor if you run the backpack. Um, and then run the exotic mask. There's catharsis. Catharsis. It'll give you a repair to your armor, although your armor is probably not going to be damaged. But if it does, it'll give you a repair, as well as the 50% weapon damage boost that the catharsis does give you. Yeah, that does it for the tank builds, I believe. Mods. Oh yeah, mods just headshot damage. But yeah, that does it for the tank builds. Now I'm going to hop over to skill builds. We have a skill damage build and a actual support build coming up. But yeah, catch you guys when it's excuse me, ma'am. Shush. But yeah, I'll catch you guys when that's there. Okay, so the last two builds we are going to be looking at is going to be the, like I said, skill damage and then support. We'll start off with the skill damage build. So skill damage build is pretty much just it's three piece. It's 3-piece international, 2-piece Hanayu with the waveform holster, then running, what was this called? Kinetic momentum and combined arms. So shooting an enemy increases skill damage, and then skill damage just passively gets increased whenever a skill is active or not on cooldown. Roll skill damage, skill haste everywhere. Hazard protection was rolled here because I was using this in a different build and I haven't decided if I want to roll it back yet. But yeah, so honestly, there's not much you can do with skill, or there's a lot you can do with skill builds, but for the most part, running a pure skill build, hybrid skill builds work very well, but they're a bit hard to put together, and there's so many ways you can do it. I can't really give one definitive do this like I was doing in the others. So skill builds pretty much just play around, but skill builds are very okay. For the summit, they're very bad because you run into a EMP room and they are dead, i.e. hazard protection. I did a hazard protection skill build thing pretty much specifically for summit. Reached the top floor and then realized that the hunters can take over my skills. So that was a bit of an epic fail. But I digress. So turret drone, skill haste, skill damage everywhere. I have a bit of crit chance here because actually you could realistically roll away with skill haste completely and do crit chance. That way your damage does, or your weapon does a bit more damage. You'll be losing what was the number? I don't recall the number correctly now. I did the calculations a while back. Uh, I think it's 7 to 9 seconds if you don't have skill haste. Or if you lose all the skill haste, you go down to or up to a 9-second cooldown, or extra cooldown, then 7 seconds. So it's about a 2-second gain between the, depending on the, yeah, the skill. These I think is a bit more because they have a longer cooldown. But regardless, the cooldown here isn't that long, so just kind of hide behind a wall if you're actually, if your skills are dying in an encounter. Okay, if your turret dies in an encounter, drone will. Drones always die. I think the drone is very weak. But yeah, that's skill damage. Next up, we go with, I have not renamed this. We go with support. Now, support build, there's two ways you can run this. This is my more casual, I'm just chilling with friends in open world build. Um, yeah, increases, this one just increases skill repair when I'm at full armor, safeguard. And this boy, repairing an ally increases weapon damage. So this is more of a, you know, if we're not in a insane situation. If we do, I usually swap out the backpack for a, is it the backpack or is it the chest piece? I have one piece of future initiative. I usually switch out the chest piece for that, and then I use the BTSU gloves for the extra hive haste for the healing hive. That's for more um legendary slash incursion vibes. This is sadly the only like real deviation you can go. There really isn't other skill builds. I haven't tried um a full yellow support build. Maybe I should, but I think the general like consensus that's just been reached is this is the best way to run. Running with the BTSU gloves and a chest piece if you want the hive haste. Which is sad. I'd really like a bit more support builds. The tank build I mentioned giving armor, and this is really the only big ways you can support. But you know, it is what it is. And yeah, that is the end of the video because there's not much else to say. There are many other builds, but these are the 6 that I do recommend everybody has. They have some deviation in playstyle between them. So you have a support build, you have a skill damage build, you have a striker build if you want to do damage, and then you have 2 tank builds to just kind of sit and chill and not die. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said in the beginning, we're heading for 1,000 subscribers, so be sure to subscribe if you did enjoy. Please leave me a like, and I'll catch everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching.